One of my biggest challenges is speaking in front of a crowd. The people who know me know how shy and quiet I am usually. In the past few years, there have been times I was so terrified, I literally couldn't get one word out of my mouth, even if I knew my materials perfectly. We all have faced challenges, fears, or difficult moments at various points in our lives, and we often need to push ourselves to reach or even go beyond what we perceive is our limit. So why, or better, how am I standing here talking to all of you if this is what I find most difficult? How have I tried to overcome this? To make it simple, I just thought and believed I could do it. Well, you might think that's obvious. That's something we say every day. But do you really know what it means to believe in yourself and believe in what you think? We constantly tell ourselves or to our friends when we have a test or an oral, for example, to believe in yourself, believe you can do it. But unconsciously, you might still feel kind of scared, kind of unconfident, as if deep inside us, you are not really believing yourself. It is important to believe in yourself, which is different from telling yourself to think you can do something. But it's really about the fact, really about knowing the fact about, I will do it. You will do it. So you might be wondering, what's so particular about this? It's not even something physical that could do a magic and help us physically. By truly believing in ourselves and what we think, it can really calm us down, alleviate nervousness and anxiety, and increasing our confidence. By truly believing in ourselves and what we think, we inspire ourselves to take action, improving our self-discipline. By truly believing in ourselves and what we think, we form in ourselves a positive attitude towards the challenges. In fact, we have to remain optimistic and confident in our abilities, even when things get difficult, and they will get difficult. Even if we fail sometimes, we have to realize that failure and difficulty don't mean defeat. Instead, they're simply part of the process. To give an idea of how influential our beliefs are, I would like to share with you an astonishing story that my English teacher told us. There was a criminal, and he was supposed to be executed, so he decided to cooperate with an experiment. He was told he was going to get his wrist cut, but he had curtains in front of him, so he couldn't see what was happening to his body. He then felt the scientist cutting him, but in reality, he wasn't actually cut. He was only scratched with a thin, blunt metal, which didn't really penetrate his skin. Then a sponge soaked with warm water was placed on the cut, and a bucket below his arm. The guy didn't see this process, and he really thought he was cut and bleeding, because he really felt the cut and the warm liquid coming out from his arm and hearing it dripping into the bucket. So in the end, he really died, as he believed, from excessive bleeding, because in his head, he really thought that what he imagined or believed happened has actually happened. Coming back to believing, you may ask at this point, how do you know you're believing yourself? For example, if you're doing something that stresses you, how do you believe in yourself? First of all, as everyone would say, take a deep breath. Nice and deep, as if it's rushing through every cell in the body. Now, imagine the process of you doing it. No matter if it's a test or an oral presentation, just imagine you doing it. Portray every single moment. Your hand gestures, your facial expressions, your feet's position, your breathing pattern. Anything. And in this way, as you go through it, you'll find and improve the parts that you think could be better, so you feel more secure and prepared. Now, imagine the worst that could happen, and prepare any solutions or plans to save it as much as possible and as best as you can. And tell yourself at this point, that's the worst that could happen. In addition, it is really important not to think of any factors that might stress you or make you lose confidence. For example, the crowd, if what you're doing places you in front of many people. Or the grades, if you're doing a test. Or the other competitors, if you're doing competition. Or even the fears themselves, if you're trying to overcome them. Just don't think of them. Don't take them into consideration. Keep them completely out of mind and focus only on the things you're responsible to do, and do that only. Finally, last but not least, imagine the moment of you succeeding. Think of the best that could happen, and tell yourself, that's what's waiting for me. Even in our daily lives, it is really important to believe in yourself. Beginning by identifying your strengths, focus on what you can do rather than what you can't, is a really effective way to believe in yourself. Also, keep track of your accomplishments and identify what you're doing well throughout the day. Maybe set new goals for yourself, no matter how small, and when you actually achieve them, celebrate it by doing something special, since you know you deserve a reward after you know you've worked hard. Tonight, I'm gonna get myself a big piece of tiramisu. Since our brain is such a magical structure, if it really believes in what we think in our mind, not only it can change our attitude towards challenges, it could also bring physical changes in our body, pushing ourselves towards our limits. It happened to me once at a school sporting event. I had to do a 1,500-meter long run, and I was extremely nervous because I wasn't that good at running. I was afraid I don't have enough energy to finish it. I can't catch my breath. The run started, and I started to panic. I couldn't feel my legs. I couldn't catch my breath. I saw other people passing me. And there was still 1,000 meters to go. And at that exact moment, I just wanted to stop, lie down, and rest. But something did allow me to do so. At that exact moment, I had only one thought in mind. One more step. 2 more steps only. Let's take 10 more steps and we'll stop. One last step and you're almost there. I kept repeating these lines over and over in my head. And it was those lines which pushed me, actually, to the finish line, forgetting the people around me, the people cheering, the other runners. And most importantly, I did not think of how much of the track I had left, but rather only the steps I have to take one after another. And in the end, when I actually finished, I was so tired. I was dead tired. I threw myself on the grass, breathing crazily. And even if, of course, I did not win, I was extremely happy and extremely proud of myself for finishing the run. I felt like I won the world. Believe in yourself. It is such a simple action. It doesn't even require any physical movement. But it's only a thought that you could have anywhere, anytime. But it's such a simple action that could really make a difference, pushing ourselves to see what we're really able to achieve. And that's what has helped me in my oral skills. And even bringing me up here, talking to all of you, while a few years ago, I even struggled to speak in front of my class. If you remember, my last step was imagine the best that could happen. I imagine you will all enjoy my talk. Thank you.